Have you ever wondered how a conflict happening thousands of miles away can silently reshape your daily life, affect the prices you pay, and even influence the stability of the global economy? Because what we are witnessing today is not just a regional tension, but a developing global crisis that is gradually impacting every corner of the world. The rising tensions between Iran and the United States are no longer just political headlines, but a complex geopolitical situation with far-reaching consequences that extend beyond borders, beyond governments, and directly into the lives of ordinary people. You are watching Z Mystery, where we go beyond the headlines to uncover the deeper reality behind global events. And in today's video, we explore how this conflict is influencing oil markets, global economies, and the uncertain future of millions of people around the world. This situation did not emerge overnight, but is the result of years of political disagreements, economic sanctions, strategic rivalries, and competing interests in one of the most important regions on Earth. On one side stands the United States, a global superpower with significant influence over international systems, and on the other side is Iran, a regional power seeking to maintain its sovereignty and expand its influence within the Middle East. As tensions escalated over time through sanctions, diplomatic standoffs, and military posturing, the situation gradually moved closer to open confrontation, creating a fragile environment where even a small incident could trigger a much larger crisis. One of the most critical elements in this entire situation is geography, particularly a narrow but extremely vital passage known as the Strait of Hormuz, a route through which a significant portion of the world's oil supply passes every single day. Any disruption in this area immediately creates shockwaves across global energy markets. And as tensions increase in this region, concerns over the safety of oil shipments rise, shipping costs increase, insurance risks grow, and uncertainty begins to dominate the global supply chain. As a result, global oil prices begin to react almost instantly, not necessarily because supply has completely stopped, but because markets operate on expectations, fear, and uncertainty. Even the possibility of disruption is enough to drive prices higher, and when oil prices increase, the effects are not limited to energy sectors alone. They ripple outward into transportation, manufacturing, food production, and nearly every industry that depends on fuel to function, creating a chain reaction that ultimately leads to higher costs for businesses and consumers alike. For many countries around the world, especially those heavily dependent on imported energy, this situation becomes particularly challenging. Rising fuel prices lead to increased transportation costs, which then raise the prices of everyday goods, contributing to inflation and placing additional pressure on already strained economies. Developing nations often feel the impact more intensely as they have fewer resources to absorb such shocks, while even advanced economies experience market instability, reduced industrial output, and growing concerns about long-term economic growth. At the same time, energy insecurity becomes a central issue, particularly in regions that rely on consistent and affordable fuel imports. Disruptions or even perceived risks in supply can lead to shortages, increased competition for resources, and strategic shifts in global alliances as countries seek to secure their energy needs. This not only affects governments, but also directly impacts individuals who begin to see higher utility bills, increased living expenses, and greater financial uncertainty. Financial markets also respond quickly to such geopolitical tensions. Investors tend to move cautiously, stock markets experience volatility, and global trade slows as uncertainty increases. Businesses delay investments, industries reduce production, and economies begin to feel the pressure of a potential slowdown. In extreme scenarios, prolonged instability could even contribute to a broader global recession, affecting employment rates and economic opportunities worldwide. However, it is also important to understand that in complex global situations like this, outcomes are rarely one-sided. While many countries face challenges, others might find opportunities. Energy-producing nations can benefit from higher oil prices, increasing their revenues and strengthening their economic position. Companies within the energy sector may also experience growth, highlighting the uneven nature of global crises, where impacts vary significantly across different regions and industries.
4,
As the
3,
situation continues
2,
to evolve, the
1.
future remains uncertain.
Booster ignition
Diplomatic
and
efforts,
liftoff of
negotiations,
Discovery,
and international
hoisting harmony
cooperation
to the
could help
heavens
reduce
and
tensions
opening
and
new
stabilize
gateways for
markets.
international
But if
science.
conflicts escalate
Discovery has
further,
cleared the
the
tower.
consequences could become much more severe, including disruptions to global trade routes, long-term economic damage, and increased geopolitical instability that could reshape international relations for years to come. What makes the situation particularly significant is how interconnected the modern world has become. A single regional conflict now has the power to influence global systems, reminding us that economic stability, energy security, and political decisions are deeply linked in ways that affect every individual, regardless of location. This is no longer just about two nations, but about a global network where every action has consequences that travel far beyond borders. In the end, this is not just a story about politics or power. It is a story about how global events shape everyday life, how decisions made at the highest levels influence ordinary people, and how interconnected our world truly is. As we move forward, the choices made by leaders, institutions, and nations will determine whether this situation leads towards stability or further uncertainty, and that is something the entire world will be watching closely. If you want to understand the deeper reality behind global events and stay informed about the forces shaping our world, make sure to subscribe to Z Mystery, where we bring you insights that go beyond the surface and reveal the truth behind the headlines.
Where you can direct a voice, create realistic dialogue, and so much more. Edit these placeholders to get started.